Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to irondinos. Today we've got games of golf for you. Gods Will Fall. Today I got Shaun.
Yo!
And we're going to take a first impression look at this games of golf game. Shaun, have you played much of this, dude?
Decidedly no. I've played a little of it. I got frustrated, and then that was a little bit of the end of it. But we'll come to that a bit later. Do explain your experience first.
So, I was the one doing the video that you're seeing before you now. So, like Shaun, I got extremely frustrated and probably would have turned off. But because I was making the video, I couldn't. I needed to get a bit more content than just the opening cave. So you're stranded, and you've got the survivors, and you get presented with this cave, and you go in the cave, and this is basically the tutorial cave. So, self-explanatory. It tells you to press jump and all that jazz. This is fine. This is a level I can handle. This is absolutely great. One or two guys, no problem. I've got this. It was after this that, if you heard our Dinocast, plug, shameless plug, which you should go and listen to. Jason happened to mention a couple of reviews saying it was frustratingly hard. And my god, is that true? Like, I went into this first dungeon, which you'll see, and it was the first one that's near. I was aware that each dungeon has its own difficulty rating, so you've kind of got to work out, it's part of the game, you've kind of got to work out which is more difficult and which isn't. It's almost impossible to tell until you sort of send one of your survivors into the dungeon. So I picked this first one, but I don't know if you're anything like me, Shaun, but when I get into a dungeon, and if I lose one of my characters, I want to complete it. I want to get back in there and complete the damn thing. I don't just want to leave it, pick something else. So yeah, it was. I picked this dungeon and I got lucky. It was quite, I say easy. The difficulty ramped up. But I could handle it. I was sort of getting near the boss or to the boss, and it was after that, which I'll explain in a little bit. But after that, my god, the difficulty curve in this is huge. Like it's very sharp and it's very big, and you've got to learn quick.
Well, I had a very different problem to you. Like you, I got into here, I went into my first cave, and I walked around it a bit. If you will notice when you go into a cave, along the top there's a bar, and each notch in that bar is an enemy in that cave or that dungeon. So, say there's 40 odd along the top or whatever. Well, I got through about a third of them, and then the dungeon just stopped having enemies, and I was walking around because it's linear. Funnily enough, this is the next dungeon I went to as well. It's very linear, but it got to the point where I was utterly bored, not knowing where to go next. So I meandered around a little bit, and then what I don't really believe is a fault of my own. I kind of was looking on a ledge somewhere, and I fell off the back of it, and that killed my character instantly.
Yep.
Now, I mean, you've heard me talk about hack and slashes and beat 'em ups and stuff like a lot. It's a game format I really like. I like a nice, nippy character with a reasonably long, but I don't mind a shorter weapon as long as it's quick and you can dodge roll and stuff like that. So I take my next character, which is a character like this. It's not a playstyle I enjoy, and I immediately get my ass handed to me. and I have a couple more goes because it's so fucking slow. And the problem with it is, it's so slow that it's not fun for me. It's not a playstyle I enjoy. So I took I had a look through all my people. That was largely what I had left. Obviously, they're all ranked slightly different. But that was largely what I had left. There was one of the character type I enjoyed. I'd lost them. I went back in with a couple more of these heavy, heavy, slow characters that I wasn't enjoying playing as. And I assume when you beat the dungeon, they come back. I didn't beat the dungeon.
If they don't die.
Yeah. Well, I didn't beat the dungeon. I got this was the area I. Well, it's a little further than this, but this is the area where I happened to somewhere around here is where I happened to walk off a cliff. And I was just like, well, I don't want to play this anymore because I'm not enjoying the characters it's given me to play as. So that was about it for me. So I played probably for about 20 minutes, half hour or so, and then was just like, well, I'm not having any fun, which is, I can't blame the game for that. It's structured in such a way that it's structured in such a way to make you learn the different character types and stuff like that, if that's what you're into. I just wasn't having any fun personally, and if I'm not having fun, I'm not going to continue playing.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's simple.
Exactly.
I mean, there's levels on top of it. I mean, nothing. You guys have heard me. The slightly generic fantasy setting is not something I'm interested to begin with anyway. If it was like some kind of, if it was the same game in some kind of crazy cyberpunk setting, chances are I'd probably have played a lot more of it. But it's not something that's going to grab me as particularly enthralling. And when I don't have when they've offered me a play type I was really enjoying and they take it away, there goes the fun I was having.
Yeah. In fact, this is the play style I like. I like the spear or the sword. That was
that's
very
got
enjoyable.
a decent speed to it, really good range. Looks like it's got solid power.
Yeah, exactly. If you're wondering, by the way, if you was watching the video there and you're wondering, I had a different character, like the real heavy, beefy character. I just switched off of it. The reason is that part of the recording, there was a bit of a failure on my end, and with the recording, I'm not sure what the issue was. But I didn't get much further than what I am now, so what I did, I played my third recording for you now, and you're seeing the next character I selected.
I thought you meant the guy you highlighted, because there was something I was going to mention that's really cool, actually. When you lose party members in the cave, it will give... so it's almost like the characters have complementary characters and characters that are their opposite. And it will give buffs to certain characters who will be like, oh, he was my father, I need to go avenge him, plus 3 strength and stuff like that. Or and there'll be the other guys, the complement, who's more likely a complementary playstyle going, oh, he had the similar thing to me and he got his ass kicked. So they'll get like a downgrade in mobility or something, which I thought was quite a cool idea. The problem with it being you're then handicapping the guy who's...
Some of your players.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think... I don't think it's explained in the tutorial at all. No, and maybe the point is that you're supposed to go burn through all your guys and then start the game again and know what you're doing. But I think that tutorial could have explained that stuff. Could have explained that, like, in the tutorial... I think do you still get to pick your character in the tutorial?
I don't know. I didn't play too much of it, to be honest. I
didn't think you did. I think the tutorial you play as the guy with the sword, so you don't know these other play types styles are coming, and you have to learn them immediately on the job, fighting an enemy, which is fighting the enemies, which is not really ideal when you've completely changed the play type on us while we're in. Oh, you're kicking that about. Well done.
Oh, don't. That I was really fortunate at that point. I'd faced this guy about 3 times at this point, so I sort of knew what he did. He does a load of attacks and he knocks you out. You can't really avoid the knockout, but you kind of got to avoid the pincers that fight, and you've got to wait till he sort of goes up on his one pincer, because then you can knock him over and then
how's he hitting you?
A lot of damage. I don't know, it's like this knockout thing. It doesn't actually take any of your vigour away, which is on the left there.
It's him!
I know, I was so close. I was like, no, come on! God damn it, man! I got him once, but he didn't fall over. So, going back to what Sean was saying, see all those things at the top there. The more guys you knock out, the less health the boss has.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, so it's linked to the boss. Now, I like you. I found it was limited per different dungeon. So sometimes the dungeons had loads, other times it had hardly none. So this one, it was almost 1 for 1. Yeah, he knocked me off the edge.
There you go.
God damn it. So, after this, I went back in. I went back in with a new team, and I picked the same dungeon, and this is where I found out the dungeons change. They don't stay the same difficulty every time you play through. So, on this playthrough, the dungeon decided to go really hard.
Oh, yeah. Like we were saying earlier, there's those chits along the top that tells you how many enemies to face, and Adam has now pointed out is also the bosses here. Look how many there are along the top there. It's hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that guy's got 1,000,000 hit points.
Yeah, and as well, like, you've got to take out, I think it's about 3 or 4 before one of those little points, life points at the top, will disappear. And it's like, wow, what the hell's going on here? So I'm going along.
As you lost all your guys, did you have to completely restart a new game, or does it then...
Yeah, it was game over, so
Yeah.
you basically start a new game, yeah. And then there was a crab. I was like, oh, jolly good. This is like the first dungeon I'm going in. I have nothing but a spear, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
That crab is... Oh, I was going to say the crab is kicking your ass. He has well and truly kicked your ass.
Yeah, exactly. So I went in again, and I thought, right, I know the deal now. All the dungeons changed, so let's try a different one. And I got lucky. I got lucky with this one. This one was a nice, easy level, and apart from...
It doesn't look like it gives you a hint before you go in as to what level it's going to be, though.
No, exactly.
Which doesn't really seem fair.
Yeah, I mean, the only hint you get is each person will have, like, a link to each dungeon, and, like, they would have seen them in their dreams, so that character you don't really want to pick. Now, you saw I did pick the character. The reason being, he had a spear. Now, the spear is my favourite, and the reason is because of these guys. These guys, if you've got a sword or a big slow axe, they're extremely hard to take down. Whereas with a spear, you can keep them at length and take them out relatively easy.
Okay, you're obviously not using it much because it's not a favoured playstyle of yours. I found the parry really finicky.
Oh, I couldn't, I could do it, but then other times it just wouldn't work. And
Yeah,
I'm like, why is the parry not working? Oh.
That's what I found, and I don't think it's not that the game has a fault with it in that regard, but it's so specifically timed as to be, it's not quite the Emmys in Metroid Dread, but it is a really tiny fraction of a moment you actually get to hit it to successfully do it, and I don't think the knockback animation is pronounced enough that you can immediately press the attack knowing that you've succeeded. It just kind of bounces them back a tiny bit, and so it's not very clear instantly to the player, success. You know, there's not like a big glint or anything like that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And with the bigger characters, if you get it like on like a smaller enemy, it will fly the enemy across the screen and knock him down. Yeah, great, brilliant. But then you've got to run over as quick as you can to get the attack in. But of course, like they've already got up by that point, and you're like, oh. So I've got a slow character, it's knocked him across the screen, and now I can't get to them. It's like, okay. Oh, guys, if you're wondering how I'm getting my health back, so the more you attack an enemy, the more, they call it blood drops, is it? Blood, I think it's blood drops. You build up around, it's like that glowing red mist that you saw. And, once you've got like a build up, you can then press, I think it's right trigger, and it gives like a little roar, like a little boost roar, and it will boost up your health points on the left there. I think they call it vigor. So it's
you want to get off that bloody bit of rope.
Oh, you know what I mean? Jeez, yeah. He started attacking me on the rope. I was like, no! I'm really dodgy on the rope anyway.
You've done it once or twice, but something I did find really satisfying, although limiting so you can't use it as often as I'd like. You can pick up enemy weapons and just throw them at the face of your enemies, but it's locked to 8 directions. It's not... You've not got complete axis control on it, so you have to line them up before you can do it, which I found quite irritating.
Yeah, it was quite handy to take, if one of them's got like a big shield or something, it's quite handy to throw something and take the shield down.
Oh, I hate to tell you, but this looks like it's going to kick your ass even more than the spider did. this thing looks far more monstrous and badass.
That's what I thought as well, and... Like, I saw that towel, first of all, and I was like, right, I am staying well away from that towel. Yeah. But I don't know, my spear seems to be doing a heck of a lot of damage. And I was like, oh, wow, I might be able to do this. So yeah, you saw me.
You got your health back there?
Yeah, got my health back. What I didn't realise at this point was she'd poisoned me. So if you see there on the left, my life is slowly going down, I'm not realising it. So I'm busy attacking all these other little creatures to get more like blood points so I can boost back up again. Not realising that no, I'm on a timer now because I'm poisoned. I've got to hurry my ass up and actually attack this enemy. Because at that point I was just staying away trying to get my life back. I think I realise about now, and I'm like, oh crap. So yeah, this enemy's got like 2 attacks. She's got the whip, and then she's like, you see there, she's got like this sort of grab thing, and then with it, then she swipes and turns. It's like a 3-pronged attack. Oh no, sorry, I haven't realised yet. I haven't realised just yet. It's just I kill these and I look across thinking, alright, I've got some life blood points that I can boost up. No, I haven't. I'm on 1. Run! And then I do it!
Well done!
Yes. I finally kicked one of their asses. And this was the opening. This was the opening that I needed. This was where I started having fun. By the way, this is about 2 hours in.
Yeah, because it looks like your characters are statted at the start, so I'm guessing whoever completes the dungeon gets a level up or something.
Yes, look, you'll see now. You get a level up, and then because you've got leveled up and you've come out, all your other characters sort of get a boost as well. Because it's like, oh, he actually did it! Yeah, vigor! Woo!
Dungeon collapses.
But what's your overall thoughts, dude?
This is the kind of thing I want from Games of Gold. I'd rather this than big AAA games and stuff. This particular one is not my cup of tea, but it's something I'd never have heard of before. I wouldn't have played otherwise, and I'm glad to have played it. You know, more stuff like this, more kind of weird, slightly interesting takes on established genres and laws and stuff is always my cup of tea. I've been trying to slip it in there here and there just to get the time, but I think it looks really good. Again, it's obviously like a lot of these Gates of Gold are now going to be lower tier, lower budget kind of games. I think they've done an awful lot with what they have. I think it looks very consistent, very cohesive, and I think it looks good. So yeah, more of this sort of thing. Even though this wasn't a big hit with me, more of this sort of thing, please.
Yeah.
What about you?
100% totally agree with everything you said. And if you... I'm definitely going to be playing again, but if you like the look of this and you think you're up for the challenge, and believe me, it is a challenge, then it is available to download on Games of Gold as we speak. But as for us, that'll be all. So we shall see you next time. See ya!
Bye-bye!